How to get rid of a wasp's nest. Having a wasp's nest in or around your home is an unpleasant situation to be in, especially if you have small children or somebody with an allergy to wasp stings. Your best bet is to call an exterminator, but if this isn't an option and you're not allergic to stings, you can likely take care of the problem yourself. To get rid of wasp's nest, wear protective clothing, approach the nest at night when the wasps are less active, and thoroughly douse the nest in an approved pesticide spray, insecticidal dust, smoke, or water. Afterwards, you should take measures to also prevent wasps from returning in the future.
Welcome to theguardianschoice.com.
This video will tell you how to planning and safety, destroying the nest, and preventing the wasps from returning. So keep watching, get your solution, and enjoy. Method 1. Planning and safety. Number 1. Ensure that you are not allergic to wasp stings. If you're not sure whether you have an allergy to wasp stings or not, it's a good idea to set up an allergy test with your doctor before you attempt to tackle the nest. If the test confirms that you are not allergic to stings, then you can proceed with getting rid of the nest by yourself. However, if you find out that you do have an allergy, you absolutely should ask someone else to deal with the nest or call an exterminator, as getting stung could be a life-threatening situation. Number 2. Contact your local vector control district. Though not available everywhere, vector control deals with disease-carrying or potentially dangerous insects and animals, vectors. These professionals can help you with identification, advise you on what to do, and may even remove the wasps for you. Do a quick internet search for vector control in your area to find contact information and request service. Number 3. Call an exterminator. In most situations, it's best to leave nest removal to the professionals. If there is no vector control district or they are unable to come remove the nest, try an exterminator instead. This is especially true if you have ground nesting yellow jackets. If the wasp nest is in an awkward or hard to reach location, such as inside a wall or attic or underneath a concrete slab, you will definitely want help from a professional. It is also advisable to call a professional exterminator if you are allergic to wasp stings, as getting rid of the nest by yourself could be dangerous. In fact, even if you aren't allergic, approaching a wasp's nest can be incredibly dangerous and, in fact, deadly if things go wrong. Number 4. Consider leaving the nest alone. If the wasp's nest is far enough away from your house that it doesn't pose a significant threat, you should consider leaving it alone, especially if it belongs to a less aggressive wasp species such as the paper wasp. Wasps are an important part of the ecosystem, as they pollinate plants and flowers and eat other garden pests such as caterpillars. Number 5. Find out what type of wasp's nest you have. Before you tackle the nest, it's a good idea to know what species of wasp you're dealing with, as this will give you an indication of the best way to get rid of it. Someone from your vector control district or an entomologist from a nearby university may also be willing to help identify the wasps. The 3 main types of wasps you'll have to deal with are as follows. Paper wasps. Paper wasps have long bodies and long legs, relative to other species of wasp. They build large, exposed nests where the combs are clearly visible. Their nests are often compared to an upside-down umbrella and are usually built in sheltered areas like the eaves of a house or the end of an open pipe. They will only attack if they feel threatened, but their sting can be quite painful and potentially dangerous. Yellow jackets. Yellow jackets have thick black antennae and shorter legs, compared to paper wasps. They build papery-looking, covered in nests and prefer enclosed spaces like wall voids or cavities in the ground. They can be very aggressive, stinging multiple times and attacking in swarms. Hornets. Hornets are the largest type of social wasp. In North America, the bald-faced hornet is the most common. It can be identified by the white markings on its head and thorax. The European hornet is brown with orange markings. Hornets tend to build paper nests, which are often found in tree trunks and wall cavities. Number 6. Wear protective clothing. It's very important to wear protective clothing when you attempt to get rid of a wasp's nest, to prevent getting stung. Even if you're not allergic, a wasp sting can be painful. Wear long jeans, socks and boots, a sweater with the hood pulled over your head and gloves. You should also wrap a scarf around the lower half of your face and wear protective glasses or ski goggles. If you are using a pesticide spray, make sure the clothes are old, as residue from the spray could enter the fabric. You should wash or discard the clothes immediately afterwards. If you do happen to get stung while getting rid of the nest, see treatment instructions here. Number 7. Never stand on a ladder to reach a high wasp's nest. If the wasp's nest is somewhere up high, like the eave of a 2-story house or a high tree branch, do not use a ladder to attempt to reach it. If you are standing on a ladder and a swarm of wasps flies at you when you disturb the nest, you are very likely to fall and seriously injure yourself. In this situation, it is best to call a professional exterminator or use something like the smoke method, see below, to get rid of the wasps. You should only attempt to get rid of a wasp's nest by yourself when it is within easy reach. Number 8. If you're using pesticides, make sure no children or pets are present. If you decide to use a pesticide spray or powder to kill off the wasps, it's important to section off the area and make sure no one, especially small children or pets, comes near it, at least for 24 hours. The pesticides used in wasp killing spray are extremely strong and poisonous. In addition, it's important that you pick up and dispose of any dead wasps that you find on the ground near the nest. Otherwise, your pet cat, dog, or local wildlife might ingest the dead wasps and poison themselves as a result. Number 9. Target wasp nests as early in the year as possible. The time of year you choose to destroy a wasp's nest can have a huge impact on whether or not you succeed. To understand this, it's useful to be aware of how these social wasps, paper wasps, yellow jackets, and hornets operate. In early spring, the queen wasp, who was in hibernation for the winter, will select a spot for her nest and build a small structure to house the first brood of worker wasps. Once these worker wasps arrive, they will work tirelessly to expand their nest and protect their queen. The colony of wasps will continue to grow throughout the spring and summer, until it reaches its peak in late August. At this time, yellow jacket colonies can hold up to 2,000 wasps. In addition, towards the end of summer, the last brood of wasps are born. This brood contains male wasps and next year's queens, so the colony is very protective of them and becomes more aggressive towards anyone who threatens the nest. Therefore, the best time to destroy a wasp's nest is as early in the year as possible, when the colony is smaller and the wasps are less aggressive. Plus, if you manage to kill the queen, you won't need to worry about a new nest being formed that year. However, if you do not find the wasp's nest until late summer or fall, destroying the nest may not be necessary, depending on your location, as freezing nighttime temperatures will kill the colony off naturally. Then you can simply dispose of the nest come winter. Number 10. Destroy wasp nests at night. If you are planning to get rid of a wasp's nest yourself, it is best to do it at night. This is when the wasps are least active, so their reaction time is slower, and they are less aggressive. For illumination, do not use a regular flashlight to view the nest, as this will attract the wasps to you. Instead, use a red or amber-colored light for safe visibility when performing nighttime treatment of a wasp nest. Alternatively, you can try to target the nest in the very early morning before the wasps become active, as you will have the benefit of the morning light. Number 11. Plan an escape route. Before you set your plan of attack in motion, it is a good idea to figure out your escape route. After you spray the nest, the wasps will quickly start to stream out and may swarm at you, therefore you will need to make a quick getaway before this happens. Plan your escape route so you have somewhere you can quickly take cover after targeting the nest. Also, make sure that there are no obstacles such as children's toys or gardening equipment in your path which you could potentially trip over. Did this video help you? Let's comment below, yes or no. Method 2. Destroying the nest. Number 1. Use a pesticide spray. Purchase an aerosol spray pesticide designed especially for killing wasps from your local supermarket or hardware store. Pesticides designed for smaller insects like ants may not be strong enough to kill the wasps. Wearing the proper protective clothing and following the other safety measures outlined in the section above, target the bottom opening of the nest with a stream of pesticide. Do this for approximately 10 to 15 seconds, or according to the instructions on the can, then quickly vacate the area. Leave the spray to take effect overnight. The next day, observe the nest from a distance. If you still see activity around the nest, repeat the process a second time. Once the activity has ceased and most of the wasps are dead, it is safe to knock down the nest using a long stick. Use the stick to break the nest apart, then saturate the pieces with the pesticide spray. Dispose of the broken nest and any dead wasps immediately. Number 2. Use insecticidal dust. When it comes to ground nests, such as those occupied by yellow jackets, insecticidal dust is much more effective than aerosol sprays, which can't quite penetrate the heart of the nest. Get your hands on some insecticidal dust, such as 7,5 garden dust, and measure out about a quarter cup into a bulb duster, or disposable plastic cup. During the night or early morning, apply the dust liberally onto the nest opening while wearing the proper protective gear. Immediately vacate the area. Don't block or cover the nest, allow the wasps to enter and exit freely. As they pass through the opening, their legs and wings will become coated with the insecticidal dust, which they will then carry with them into the center of the nest, contaminating the other wasps. Following the application of insecticidal dust, the wasps should die off within a day or two. If not, you can try repeating the process. Number 3. Use dish soap. If you're not a fan of using pesticide, a simple solution of dish soap and water can be extremely effective at killing off wasps, as it coats their wings to prevent them from flying and eventually drowns them. Prepare a soap solution by mixing a suitable quantity of dish soap, about a quarter cup with a liter of hot water, until it's nice and sudsy. If you're targeting an aerial nest, pour the soap solution into a hose end spray bottle, then aim a powerful stream of water directly at the entrance of the nest for 10 to 15 seconds. If you're targeting a ground nest, simply pour the solution directly into the entrance, then quickly vacate the area. Although the soap and water solution is very efficient, you may need to repeat the process several times, as the soapy water needs to come in direct contact with each wasp before it can kill it. Number 4. Use smoke. Another pesticide-free way of clearing out an aerial wasp's nest is to use smoke. Build a small fire or light a fire in your grill directly below the nest. The smoke will rise and enter the nest, suffocating the wasps and forcing them to vacate the nest. Leave the smoke to rise for an hour or two, and when you are sure that the nest is empty, you can put out the fire and knock the nest down with a stick, before disposing of it. However, you may want to have a spray bottle filled with soap and water in case there are any live wasps remaining in the nest. Keep in mind that this method is only suitable for aerial nests that are hanging from tree branches or other exposed areas. It is not suitable for nests in doorways, eaves, or anywhere too close to your house, as the flames may accidentally set your house on fire. Number 5. Use water. It is possible to drown a free-hanging, aerial wasp nest using a cloth bag and a bucket of water. Wearing your protective clothing, set a bucket of water beneath the wasp's nest. Grab a large cloth bag, with no holes or tears. Quickly and carefully, place the cloth bag over the nest and tightly secure the top with a piece of string. As you do so, pull the nest from the tree branch. Dump the bag containing the wasp's nest into the bucket of water and place a heavy stone on top to hold the bag underwater. Leave the bag in the water overnight, and by morning all the wasps will have drowned. Keep in mind that this method involves coming in very close contact with the wasp's nest, so it is not for the clumsy or faint-hearted. Did this video help you? Let's comment below, yes or no. Method 3. Preventing the wasps from returning. Number 1. Seal entry points. Over the winter, do a thorough inspection of the outside of your house to look for potential wasp entry points, such as loose siding, unsealed vents, and cracks around windows and door frames. These are all ideal locations for a wasp's nest, so sealing them off now could prevent a potential infestation come spring. Number 2. Knock down vacant nests during the winter. Although wasps will never return to a previously used nest, several species of wasp will build their new nest on top of the old one. Therefore, it is a good idea to knock down any empty, abandoned nests over the winter and thoroughly clean the area before the queen wasp reclaims the area come springtime. Number 3. Make sure to seal your garbage cans. The scent of old food can attract wasps, so it's a good idea to make sure your garbage cans are well sealed. You should also give any garbage cans a good clean with water and disinfectant on a semi-regular basis to remove any food residue that could attract wasps. Number 4. Be careful with fruit trees. Fruit trees, and particularly rotting, fallen fruit, is a magnet for wasps and bees, so think twice before planting one too close to your house. If you already have fruit trees, it's a good idea to regularly harvest ripe fruit and to pick any fallen fruit off the ground and dispose of it before the wasps can get to it. Number 5. Hang fake nests. Wasps are extremely territorial and will not build their nest close to another colony's. Therefore, hanging a fake wasp's nest or two is a great way to deter them. You can purchase fake nests at gardening centers and hardware stores, many of which are beautifully designed, but you can have just as much success by hanging a brown paper bag. Tips. 1. The spray adhesive is great, but be careful. This is a two-person job unless you're skilled with two cans in each hand, as there are two holes on most nests. Large ones both can exist, but the front facing is the so-called front door as the bottom is the rear, but mainly used for ventilation. Wasp and hornets need to maintain the temp in the nest or they will die. 2. If you are allergic to wasp or hornet venom, contact a professional exterminator and avoid the nest entirely. 3. A recent development that has worked well for many in my area is a sticky trap. It attracts wasps with a visual pattern, and when they land on it, they cannot get away. 4. If you don't want to buy an expensive pesticide to kill the wasps, a normal bug spray will do too. 5. The mint-based wasp killers are just as effective, and less poisonous to you and your pets. 6. Wasps can mark you with pheromones. If one manages to sting you before you get a chance to destroy the nest, wash yourself thoroughly to avoid being targeted by other wasps. 7. Spray adhesive is highly toxic. Be sure not to use it indoors, and wear a mask to protect your lungs from inhalation. 8. If you have a nest on your house, another natural but very effective method is to place a bucket full of boiling, or as close to boiling as possible, water underneath the nest. Use a long stick to knock the nest into the bucket. Use a short stick to mush the nest apart afterwards, to ensure that any adults in it as well as the larvae are cooked or drowned. This is best done wearing protective gear, so that any adults who made it out don't sting you. If you don't mind chemicals, having a second person spraying the last few adults makes this method much more comfortable. Once the nest's queen inside the nest is dead, any remaining adults will die off, after being unable to find their nest. 9. Spray-on butter works for paper wasp nests that are within arm's reach. However, this makes a mess and may attract more insects. 10. Spray adhesive works remarkably well, better than some poisons, and is about the same price. The wasps may begin to come out but will get stuck to the nest, and then each other clogging the exit hole. Spray plenty of it on the exit after they have stopped coming out for the returning wasps. Spray adhesive, however, does not work for bees, which, unlike wasps, will eat the dead clogging the hole. Wasps will not. Warnings. 1. Only exterminate the wasps yourself if the nest is relatively small, in plain sight and within reach of a handheld spray can. If any of these conditions do not apply, do not attempt to do this yourself, it's too dangerous. Call pest control to remove them for you. 2. Do not attempt to spray an already irritated nest. The hornets or wasps may not all be in the nest at the time you attempt to spray it. Give the nest a few hours to calm down. 3. Wasps can be very dangerous, so use extreme caution. 4. Be very careful not to stay around the nest long enough for the wasps to find you and sting you. Did this video help you? Let's comment below, yes or no.